ESPN really wants you to watch their network so much that they're looking to foot the bill for your wireless data plans if you watch their programming.
Two things come to mind, Neil. One is that sitting here in Denver, which was kind of the birthplace, or at least the place where the cable television industry really took wing. I was just reading about the history of it a week or so ago, and I'm really struck by how similar this is, where what had been a very established order of, hey, there's three big networks, and that's the way it is, according to Walter Cronkite, and that's the way the world works, suddenly was kind of pitched into this wildly different environment, which spawned things like CNN and Fox News, obviously, because cash flows went from very predictable and distribution methods went from very predictable to suddenly it's all over the map and a whole different board game. That's the first thing. The second thing is I go all the way back to the 1960s, and you think about that Marshall McLuhan thing of the media is the message. This has become so important. Mobile has become so important to ESPN that they're saying we'll pay for it. And think about how that changes the fundamental notion of television and how you build a narrative. It's a crazy time in the business.
Issue 2, Sears sales are down, so it's giving cash-strapped customers a break, allowing them to lease big-ticket items with an option to buy them later on. Dave, the government risks notwithstanding, everything goes kablooey, and then the government's on Sears, you know what. What do you think of this?
Where that ESPN story is a story of new things working and dynamism, this is a story of things not working. This is a story of the brick and mortar retail business having real struggles and trying to figure out innovative ways to stay relevant. This is a story of the credit and financial system not working and not providing what it needs to, and therefore the retailers having to respond. And finally, I think it's a story of the middle class not working right? Where that economic vitality is being drained so much that retailers have to find a way to pump new life into it. This is the downside of the economic revolution.
Final issue to round out Fox Business Network's real estate day. Prices are beginning to rebound, but is that good for the younger generation? Because despite these low interest rates, low prices, all millennials know is that they're just not into it. What do you make of that, Dave?
It's hard to tell. The one thing that I'll say is everybody's got to have a place to live, and it does feel to me ultimately like the housing market, while it certainly absorbs the body blows and takes the shock, it's something that you always find kind of rebounds. We look back at the Carter era interest rates and the early Reagan era interest rates of high double digits, and while the housing markets took that body blow there too, they managed to recover and people managed to adapt.
Yeah, but I mean, you talk about kids needing a place to live. They just move in with their parents and they don't leave, right?
I think that's a possibility. I do. And those demographics and those economics will clearly play into the mix just as they did in the past.